Yeah, welcome to Inbox Attack. This will be our weekly workout uh, for today, April 12th. And today we're going to be doing the mentor framework. We'll be reviewing that and doing some writing exercises related to that. So we'll talk about mentors, advisors, and sort of what the expectation of that is versus what the reality ends up being. And then we'll do some writing exercises to try to hone in on effective approaches to positioning yourself as a mentor in your prospect's heroic journey. So as always, uh, we're trying to cast ourselves into someone else's heroic journey and trying to be in tune with where they're at on that particular journey within that particular framework. And you'll find that if you can kind of pick up on where they're at, it will give you a lot of really good and useful cues as to how to approach that person. So the mentor uh, piece comes in right next to the call to adventure. Typically in stories, there's a fair amount of overlap right there. Either the mentor may even be the one to issue the call to adventure, um, or it may be the mentor might be the person who once your prospect has accepted the call, then the mentor is there to sort of just accelerate them out the door and get them out of the normal world and into the unknown, get them to cross that threshold. Uh, so, and within, we'll sort of talk a little bit more about how this relates to selling stuff via email, but definitely the division between the normal world, that's prior to somebody buying your product or service, and the unknown is the world in which they have your product or service as their elixir, if you will, or at least they have a goal that their elixir can help with. So yeah, getting people out of their comfort zone is exactly what the mentor is all about. We expect a sort of polished experience, cool sunglasses, a la Morbius, or Morpheus, excuse me. But Morpheus, he's just a sweater-wearing refugee like everybody else in the end. So, the reality of being a mentor is maybe not always that polished. The polish can disguise any number of issues with your mentor. So what we come up with frequently in stories and in business is a mentor that is not so polished, that is maybe a little more gnarled, a little more time worn. You know, Gandalf is Gandalf the Grey. He's not Gandalf the Spiffy, Uh, even your Willy Wonka, he's not a sane person, but if your heroic journey is going to end with you running a magical chocolate factory, then he's probably a good guy to talk to. Um, and oftentimes, of course, you get mentors who have been through the heroic cycle, who have been through their own heroic journey, and uh, been on that journey themselves. And sometimes, there's some battle scars that come from being on that journey. But it is important to remember that in this framework, even though your mentor has been uh, through the same kind of story, they always know it's not their story. Their time to be the hero is over, really, for one reason or another. So, in the case of uh, selling things, this of course means that yes, you have been in the position of your prospect, and for whatever reason, you are no longer there. You are no longer in that prospect's position. Something about what you know um, has gotten you through that particular phase of your life, and So of course, that's part of the proposition there. That's part of being a mentor. It definitely helps to be approachable. It helps to basically not gloss over the things that are different about you, and stories that this can be that your mentor does not, they seem weird. And you'll also notice down here, oftentimes they are alcoholics in stories. They've been through that they've been through that journey. It left them the worse for wear. They did not save the world. In business, we can skip past that. We don't need to worry so much about whether or not you saved the world, because we're not generally dealing with those kinds of stakes. But you should be okay with presenting a version of yourself as a mentor that is human, that that sets you apart from all the other people banging down on your prospects inbox saying, "Hey, I can help you. Hey, I can help you. Hey, I can help you." Uh, you will want to flaunt your clout, if you will. Uh, you will want to, uh, actually uh, build a relationship with your prospect. So yeah, we can also skip the not very reliable sort of trope that a lot of heroes may follow. You want your hero to recognize uh, who you are, and that you do have some authority, that you do have some, that you are a valuable mentor. Um, and again, that doesn't mean gloss over or hide the more unique aspects of yourself, or even potentially ways in which you failed and the prospect might want to avoid making those same mistakes. Uh, so yeah, lots of different options for how you can present yourself as a mentor. It may be that certain ways of presenting yourself work better or worse depending on what kind of business or demographic you're in. Um, it's going to be up to you to sort of decide what kind of mentor do you want to be. Do you want to be the drunk master? Maybe if you're trying to help people on their journey to becoming bourbon snobs, perhaps. But otherwise, you may prefer to go with approaches like, "Hey, I've been in this situation," or "I've been helping people in your situation for a long time." Positioning yourself is more important. That is probably maybe not a winning strategy, because they don't care necessarily about that. I mean, depending on what you're selling, maybe that is a good strategy. You're setting yourself apart. You're saying, at the very least, I'm more important than this subject over here. Perhaps that's, I'm more important than these other potential mentors, or I'm more important um, than your doubts about yourself. And in some cases, just saying, "Hey, I actually am more important than you. I do have some clout in some areas where you would like to have some clout, so let me show you the ropes." But you do also want to temper that with remembering that people don't care about you. It's not their story. So you can play up that card, but just be aware that they don't they only care about your importance relative to their own. Uh, all right. So all these approaches, you're gonna have to provide some kind of demonstration of authority, if that's uh, being super good at kung fu, or if that's being super good at blowing magical smoke rings, or whatever it is. You want to again flaunt your clout. So be very specific. Um, allow them to see those things that make you unique. And of course, as we already know, use very specific numbers. Don't, you know, don't round up, don't round down. Use very specific numbers so that it feels real. So yeah, some examples of ways you can flaunt your clout. You can drop names, you can drop numbers, and you can drop quotes. All of these provide some kind of backup to what you're saying. So, pick whichever one sort of matches what you want to position yourself as, or use multiple if you can. So it's kind of